Whisk and just let him gently bubble. You don't want to scorch this, so just let it gently cook down and thicken up. For the cheese, in this bowl, I took about 2 cups of fresh ricotta that I drained. I took about 12 ounces of trimmed of the rind, sweet gorgonzola, and about 3/4 of a cup, again, of Parmigiano Reggiano. Then I'm going to take 1 egg, lightly beat it.
Imagine Ranji when he's actually 80.
No, I think
insufferable.
I think I'm just going to become.
He'd be more like the dude from On Golden Pond, Henry Fonda.
Yeah.
You've seen that one, Amy. That's like the one movie Amy's seen.
Right,
Yeah, she's seen that one.
I knew you were going to be. That was a reference. I'm like, oh, she's going to totally get it.
The only reason I know anything about that is because do you remember the roast of Bob Saget they did, and Norm Macdonald delivered his whole roast, and it was all like old timey jokes, and it took forever for people to catch on to what he was doing.
Right.
He delivered his, and then I think it was Jim Norton. Does that sound right? Jim Norton, so. Shorter comedian, shaved bald head.
Yep.
And he said, I don't know about that set, Norm. That was like watching Henry Fonda pick blueberries. and I don't know what that means. And Norm didn't know what that means. And Norm's response was, well, I don't know a person alive who wouldn't want to watch Henry Fonda pick blueberries. And everybody laughed because he didn't know what he was talking about. So I guess that's funny to On Golden Pond people.
Hey, speaking of old actors, I think it's Robert Redford's birthday.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I'm pretty sure. I glanced at it on Twitter, so if I'm wrong, it's only because I looked very quickly, but he was trending and he's still alive, because that's your first thought, is when an older actor is trending.
What's
It is his birthday. I just looked it up.
Oh,
Answer
wow.
Man.
Answer Man, well done.
What's
from his own basement. He's 86, by the way.
Wow. That's very strange to me, because it's one of the first times that I can think of an older actor who was a sex symbol when I was growing up, because I remember how women loved Robert Redford when I was a kid.
Robert Redford and Paul Newman together, there will never be a cooler, sexier duo. Like, famous actors can try now, but they're whatever.
I think Redford still looks okay, doesn't he? Still looks pretty good for a mid-'80s man.
I guess. I haven't really seen him.
You haven't seen him lately? He was just in an Avengers.
You were hanging out like the other day?
Yeah, I haven't really been hanging out with him.
Him in the Golden Girls cast?
Oh,
it does seem like the kind of people you'd hang out with.
Oh, 100%. If I could hang out with any modern actor, like popular actor now, or Robert Redford and Paul Newman, who has passed. No, I would hang out with Robert Redford and Paul Newman. I know he's passed, but I'm just saying that duo.
Yeah, that would be Amy's style.
Do you think Wilford Brimley's still alive?
I don't think so.
Ron,
I remember a long time. It seems like a while ago that I remember him like jumping on Twitter, and it was like, "Hey, this is really me."
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
But
that was the question.
No, he died in 2020.
Okay.
Oh,
Wheeler,
see,
I was supposed,
Answer Man.
It was.
She was going to do it.
Yeah. I was going to ask you and Ranj and then give you the
answer. It was a trivia question for us.
Yeah.
And you ruined it.
Damn it.
Oh, guys. I can't tell you now, because we have to wait until trending later in the hour, because something amazing is trending right now. Just amazing. Well, there are 2 things. I've got 2 things trending, but I just looked down and I noticed something awesome is trending, and I can't wait to tell you about it later in the hour.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's a tease.
Suspense. I have so much suspense right now to see what's trending.
Yep.
With you.
Yep.
He's like, I'm not even going to try to be excited about this.
Such a crabby old man.
What are you talking about? I couldn't be happier.
Wheeler looks so young for his age, and he acts young. And even though he's angry all the time, he's happy.
All the time.
He's happy, angry, and Ranj is just crabby.
Why do you think that is? Look at what I have to deal with every day.
It's a fair point.
I was doing fine without you guys.
Yeah.
And now I'm stuck with you.
Yeah.
But I love you. I love you both.
For a little while.
I also crossed another line today.
You what?
I also crossed another line today, in addition to the Brimley cocoon line.
Would you say you crossed 2 lines today?
I did cross 2 lines today on my COVID test. Well played, Amy.
Oh,
well played. I'm in round 2, dude.
Amy,
I got my second go around now.
Can we real quick say something about Amy? She's had a couple of really good one-liners lately.
I know.
I forgot you had one yesterday, and I thought
when Kevin sneezes.
Oh yeah, that's not really a
something,
one-liner, but it's
shut up, but it's
yeah,
good.
I like that one.
Well,
but there
thanks,
was
I
something
appreciate
else. Amy's been on a bit of a roll.
I really appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Kevin, we're sorry. You feeling okay?
Yeah, fine. I mean, I got a little sore throat, but other than that, I'm good.
Good.
Just get to work in the man cave now.
How does it compare to the first time you had it?
Well, the first time, so that was almost a year ago. It was like Halloween. I was on Halloween that I tested positive last year, and I knew it. I mean, I was pretty sick that day. Like I had a fever, and I knew I was really bad. I almost didn't even take the test this morning. I got a sore throat, and I'm like, I'm fine, but I'm going to do it anyway because I don't want to be that jerk that exposes everybody else because I didn't feel it. And I just well, there's the second line. Guess I'm staying home today.
That is exactly what happened to me when I had it 3 weeks ago. And I had been gone for a few days, and I was coming back into the studio, and I had just felt like a sinus thing. And I thought, you know what? Because I'm going to go see these two schmucks, I probably should test just to make sure. And I did, went to take a shower, take the 15 minutes, come back. I looked at it, and I was stunned that both lines were there. I was so surprised. I couldn't believe it.
I think this new variant, though, that's what people have been saying, a headache and a scratchy throat. Like to a man, to a woman, the people that I know that have had COVID recently have all said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I just had a little bit of a scratchy throat and a headache. And then they test positive. And sometimes they will say the symptoms get worse after that, right?
Oh,
like the scratchy throat is there and then it gets worse.
Yeah, mine did not. And it's a good thing, Kevin, that you're not feeling all that bad right now.
No.
Yeah.
Does it sound weird at all? I mean, does the voice sound strange at all? Because it doesn't feel bad.
I mean, no, you always sound like you have a sore throat.
Well, you're right. I mean, come on. It's gotta be.
It's not wrong.
Has Kevin got a sore throat today? Nope, that's just him.
No, just the way he is.
No, you're good, man.
Like me and Alex Jones, we have that same
Oh, don't do that to yourself.
I don't even know what Alex Jones sounds like.
Is that you?
I can't believe that man hasn't had a stroke yet.
Yeah,
he's just it's.
All right,
anyway,
so we're just getting started on a Thursday. We're going to talk to Major Garrett from CBS News coming up at the bottom of the hour. Up next, we've got an interesting story. Mike Pence made a couple of, I thought, fascinating statements yesterday about the FBI raid, about the January 6 hearings, and also said he may be, if he's asked, willing to come in and talk to the January 6th committee. We'll hear from and talk about Mike Pence coming up next here on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2022. This Saturday night, 7:30 at the Family Arena. Starring the Turtles, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Association, the Buckinghams, the Folks, and the Cowsills. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster and at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena.
It's the Sail On Tour 2022, starring Orleans, Firefall,
You are the woman that I've always dreamed of.
Peter Beckett, the voice of Player, John Ford Kohler, Walter Egan, and the Babies with Sail On Tour 2022. Saturday, October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
I've loved dancing for as long as I can remember, so my doctor really encouraged me to go back to it. Regular checkups, thorough exams, a whole wellness plan tailored just for me.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in exceptional care for older adults. Our dedicated care teams provide the personalized care you need to stay healthy and live life more fully.
Age may be just a state of mind, but I mind it a lot less when I feel good.
Get the care you deserve. Visit oakstreethealth.com.
Attention veterans. If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. Congress is now holding the government accountable, but you must act now. Get your free case review. Call True Law at 877-560-8555, 877-560-8555, or visit sickvets.com. That's sickvets.com.
Serving St. Louis for over 96 years. KMOX.
Attacks on the FBI must stop. Calls to defund the FBI are just as wrong as calls to defund the police. The truth of the matter is, we need to get to the bottom of what happened. We need to let the facts play out. And I will continue to call on the Attorney General and the Justice Department to make that information available to the American people and do so now.
All right, it's 10:20 on the show here on KMOX. Chris Rachi, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. That's former Vice President Mike Pence speaking yesterday about the criticisms of the FBI here of late. And, of course, he talked about more than that as well. I don't know about you guys, but I get the sense that somebody is maybe a little unhappy about the way a previous relationship ended.
Well, it's funny because the way when you hear Pence speak and you see the interviews that he's done, I don't view it as something that is personal or petty or vindictive in any way. I think he is forward thinking, forward looking in everything.
Wow. That was quite the effect.
Look at that. Somebody's microphone is doing.
It's Amy.
No.
Amy
Dang
just
Amy.
cannot.
It was off. I swear.
Amy is. She's an old lady. Told you she doesn't know how to figure out a laptop.
Here's what happened. My laptop died, and so everything came back
See?
on.
She's running out of battery. She doesn't know how to turn things off. She is an
this
85-year-old woman.
We've got too many things on in this room. So with Pence, I see him as forward looking. I don't see him as looking backwards at Trump, trying to take any personal jabs. For me, it's just he's looking at what does he have to say and do to not hurt his political career going forward, lose the fewest amount of votes. He's walking a very tight line here. He doesn't want to abandon Trump voters. He doesn't want to abandon those who are unhappy with how Trump conducted himself. I think he's walking a tightrope here.
That's exactly what he's doing, and that's why even after we found out weeks ago all the inner workings, everything that happened on the day of January 6th, and him having to hide in the garage and refusing to leave the Capitol grounds because he didn't know what was going to happen if he did leave, all of those things. He doesn't want to address any of it because I don't think he wants to upset the Trump voters that like him now. And I think he's trying to
the ones that weren't trying to lynch him on January 6th.
Yes, yeah, the ones that were, yeah, exactly.
But I think, don't you think he knows that there's no way to go forward and speak openly about Trump and win. You can't do it. There's no winning way to continue to talk about Trump or January 6th or what should or shouldn't have been done. I think he, again, unlike Liz Cheney, who helped lead the January 6th investigation, knowing that it would end her career as a representative. Maybe she'll have a presidential career, but I think he knows if he wants a future in politics, he can't go back to Trump. There's no winning there. You have to be very careful.
But you also can't upset the Trump voters. So that's why it's
what I mean. You can't go back to the subject of Trump.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying now. And then as far as the J6 goes, here's what he had to say about that.
Well, if there was an invitation to participate, I would consider it. But you've heard me mention the Constitution a few times this morning. On the Constitution, we have 3 co-equal branches. And any invitation to be directed to me, I would have to reflect on the unique role that I was serving in as vice president. It'd be unprecedented in history for a vice president to be summoned to testify on Capitol Hill. But as I said, I don't want to prejudge.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's where he is. He hasn't completely ruled it out, but it sounds like if he was subpoenaed, he would honor the subpoena. He wouldn't ignore it.
It's interesting because I think it sounds like Pence is taking every press conference, every interview, day by day. I think he's counting on Americans having a short memory, which they are. So if he doesn't say anything particularly memorable, there's a good chance that these will slide by, these interviews will slide by and do the least amount of damage. It's the weirdest thing. It's like he's on preemptive damage control to just get through this moment.
Yeah, it feels that way. But I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little torn on it. I mean, most of the people that were really serious, hardcore about the stolen election in January 6th, they're already down on him. He's off their list. I mean, they thought he abdicated his duties on January 6th, that he didn't do the right thing. You're not winning those people back. And without those people, you're not winning a nomination or anything, right?
I don't know. There's so much time between now and then. So, like Amy said, I don't know if the short memory thing will come into play here, or if he's going to get the Liz Cheney treatment, even though he didn't do what Trump wanted him to do, and people are upset about that. But he didn't necessarily go out there and say Trump's a liar and, we should never support him again.
Here, though, by saying stop going after the FBI.
He is, but he hasn't been as direct about Trump himself as Liz Cheney is on a we can never allow him to be president again thing, and Pence is not doing that. So if it's about his prospects as president, here is Neil Levesque, who is the executive director of the New Hampshire Institute of Politics. And that's where Pence was speaking yesterday. And he was asked, is Pence going to run for president?
I definitely get the sense he's going to run in 2024. And I think what he was communicating to voters here in the First in the Nation primary state was that he is a social conservative and he has a long track record of being that way. And he's firm with that. And he's committed to his country and his Constitution. And so I think he avoided a lot of the other hot topics that are out there and sort of went straight for that. And I think it was a communication that was well received, and we had a very large audience. He spoke from the podium right behind me.
And so he was well received in that audience, in that room. I don't know if that reflects the greater population, though.
I think if I were a betting man, I would say you put Pence and DeSantis against each other, it's not even close. It's DeSantis. Yeah. I don't think, because right now the conservatives want this strong arm, aggressive conservatism. Shove it down your throat, and that's what DeSantis is.
Good point. Really good point. Amy, Mark Scores, Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the show. CBS News Major Garrett joins us when we come back after the 10:30 news.
With an equal opportunity.
This is Megan Lynch. Summer is coming to an end, and that means the school year is about to begin. For families, that can mean a lot of concerns, from COVID to school security to the rising cost of school supplies. All this week, Total Information AM and the KMOX News team will examine all the things that could impact your child's return to class. Information, interviews, and insight. What you need to know to make it a great start to the new school year. From Total Information AM and News Radio 1120 KMOX.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies. It is 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. Kentucky Supreme Court keeping the state's near total abortion ban in effect. The High Court says the state's ban will remain in place while it reviews arguments by abortion clinics challenging the state law. Sales of previously occupied U.S. homes slowed for the sixth consecutive month in July, deepening the housing market slowdown from a high-flying pace at the start of the year. The National Association of Realtors saying today existing home sales fell 5.9% last month from June. Trump Organization CFO Alan Weiselberg admitted at a court hearing today that he dodged taxes on lavish fringe benefits he got from the company. He's the only person to face criminal charges so far in the Manhattan District Attorney's long-running investigation of the company's business practices. Kohl's slashing its expectations for the year after sales slumped in the second quarter, sending shares down 9% at the opening bell. Kansas City's mayor is suing the state over a new law. It requires the city to give more money to its police department. Attorney General Eric Schmidt says the mayor is putting politics over public safety. There's a stalled vehicle 270 eastbound before Lindbergh Boulevard on the right shoulder. Watch for a stall 70 westbound on the ramp from Jennings Station Road. Be prepared to stop there. And a stall 70 eastbound to North Hanley Road on the right shoulder. They're cleaning up debris 44 eastbound on the ramp from Rudder Road. Be prepared to stop in that location. The KMOX forecast for this afternoon, mostly sunny, nice and warm. The high 85, clear tonight, the low 68. Right now it's sunny and 74 degrees downtown at the Arch. The forecast sponsored by Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 175-year young mutual company leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor. Go to PennMutual.com/STL. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Synanon was the world's first drug rehab. People called it the miracle on the beach. But soon, people were calling it something else. They were saying it was a violent cult. Listen to The Sunshine Place, a creation and presentation of C13 Originals, a Cadence 13 studio. Executive produced with Susan Downey and Robert Downey Jr. Available for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
KMOX News Time is 10:32.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold at Newbold Toyota. If you're worried about gas prices, Toyota has the most models of hybrid electrics in the industry. From the best-selling Camry to the best-selling RAV4, we've got it all. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
You have more control over how much you pay in taxes when you retire than at any other time in your life. Don't miss Your Retirement Professors, Saturday afternoons at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio. KMOX.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
What's more important than profit? At Easter Fence Deck and Renovations, our family name is, you, our customers and friends are. A job well done and doing what's right is more important than profit. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter. In business for over 60 years, we've not lost sight of the fact that a good name is more desirable than great riches. When the Easter name is on your fence, deck, or sunroom, you know it was done right with integrity, pride, and great care. Our focus is on you, not our bottom line. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
Albert Pujols comes to bat.
Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols talks with Tom Ackerman Mondays at 9:50.
He hits a fly ball left field, and it's gone!
Exclusively on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, 10:34 here on the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Happy to be joined by CBS Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett. You can find Major on Twitter at Major CBS. Weekly guest here with us, a friend of the show, also an author. His books, Mr. Trump's Wild Ride, and the newest one, The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie, which is available at thebigtruthbook.com. Major, good morning. Thank you for joining us. And I understand you're on vacation, so maybe we should be thanking you even more than the usual. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Yes, I have a week away from Washington. Typically, when I go on vacation, I go back to my home state of California. But this time, for the first time since I moved to the East Coast in 1990, I'm actually in Bethany Beach, Delaware, because my adult children now have their own lives. And if I wanted to see them, they're on the East Coast. So I had to pick a place where they could all get to in relatively short order. And we're doing a week away here near the beach. So it's very nice and good to be with you. Great to be back on KMOA.
Just so you know, there are no vacation rates here. This is just this is like any other day. I just want you to know that.
I received my standard fee, correct?
That's
Yep,
exactly
standard
right.
fee.
Yes.
Standard fee.
Yeah, Charlie insisted. He goes, I know I'm retiring, but whatever you do, make sure Major stays with the fee we've been paying him.
Yes, my Bitcoin riches just keep multiplying.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, wait, they just dropped.
Well, I appreciate it, Major. Oh, and I gotta ask you too. This is not Washington, but your San Diego Padres got Juan Soto, and we in St. Louis we were hoping for that too, but it's working out okay. Then there's the Fernando Tatis Jr. news. So how are the Padres fans holding up?
So the Tatis news is a very, very big psychological blow because it just doesn't mean that we're not going to get this world-class athlete back on the roster for what we hope will be a long playoff run. It means a continuation of, let us just diplomatically describe it as maturity issues. Tatis has been injured more often than he has played. He has not taken the advice of the club in terms of getting surgery on his shoulder. So he plays less frequently than he plays. When he does play, he's an all-star. And now we're not only not going to have him for any playoff run, we're not going to have him for the first month of next season. And his cover story, no one is buying. No one is buying at all. And that makes him three things. He's a non-performer because he's not there when we need him most. He's a cheater because he broke the protocol for performance-enhancing drugs, and he's a liar. So that's a pretty wicked three-way combination. And it's a downer for all Padre fans. But look, you can only, as everyone knows in any sport, you try to win with the players you have on the field. Tatis is not going to be on the field, so we got to find another way to win.
Don't you hate it when you have to kind of apply some of the same things you see in your regular job to your fandom?
Yes, I do hate that because this sports is supposed to be an escape and not a reminder, and this has been more of a reminder than an escape.
All right, so now to the fun stuff. So yesterday you heard Mike Pence's comments about a number of things, whether or not he'll testify January 6th. I guess let's start there. What is he trying to do right now? Because he says he'll look at it or whatever. Didn't really shoot down the idea if they call him in.
Yes, he used his words very carefully. If I were to receive a formal invitation, does that mean a subpoena? I mean,
yeah, it's pretty formal.
Because that is a formal invitation of a certain kind, and clearly if he wanted to make himself available, he knows the phone number, he knows the address, he can make himself available. But what I think he's trying to suggest is if he were subpoenaed, he wouldn't fight it. Meaning, look, I've been subpoenaed, it's a legitimate subpoena, and I would therefore comply. Signaling to the January 6th committee, if you want to go down this road, I'm amenable to it. Others, of course, have fought the subpoena, gone to court, Peter Navarro, Steve Bannon, and others, Mark Meadows. So what I think Vice President Pence was saying, if you subpoena me, I will comply and show up and tell you what I know. He also said, I know what it means to uphold an oath under difficult circumstances. I did that. He's not full on Liz Cheney, but he's reminding Republican voters that he stood in the breach. He did not agree with former President Trump, and he did things that he believed preserved the Constitution, preserved our system of government, and is willing to rise or fall on that basis and continue to stand in contrast to former President Trump. Now, he really does have, in my opinion, I've always believed this, he has no other choice. You can't say, well, I was sort of right about that. No, you have to say, I made a decision. I was under tremendous personal and political pressure from the president. I resisted that for a reason. And the reason is the Constitution, and stand on that for the rest of your political career. Because that was a moment of choosing. And he chose a certain path, the correct one, in my estimation. And I believe history will vindicate the former vice president for choosing that path. But having chosen that, you can't say, I wasn't really sure. No, you have to say, I'm positively sure. History will vindicate me. I was right. The former president was wrong. Even though in the current moment, in certain places, under certain circumstances, meaning primary contests in certain locales, the prevailing winds favor the former president.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens as he potentially moves forward in his political career. Hey, switching to the Inflation Reduction Act, there is $370 billion in climate spending for a green energy transition. And when we look at renewable energy, it's obviously a great idea, the direction we need to go into. Right now, one concern is that so much of renewable energy relies on critical minerals, and many of those minerals like nickel and cobalt come from China, and 100% of the graphite and lithium ion batteries comes from China. So as we become greener and we become more reliant on these mineral resources in China, do we have a backup in case China does decide to weaponize the resources and our dependence on them?
So it's an excellent question that doesn't have, based on my expertise, a comprehensive answer. I can't answer every component part of that. However, one of the arguments for, and this is industrial policy subsidies. Let's be very clear about the language here. This is the federal government collecting taxpayer dollars and pouring them into industries for a certain outcome, which we've done before, sometimes more successfully than others. But embryonic industries with high startup costs need that kind of juice behind them. And this is the largest amount of juice in terms of federal taxpayer subsidies ever. And that's to incentivize two things: new technology that lowers the cost, creates what economists call scale. So you have more product at a lower price, and you can go through the early years of trying to achieve that scale without having to try to make a profit. Then you have to find the mineral resources. Some of those we can find in small trace amounts here in the United States, but the most of them come either from China or Africa, but principally from China. The simple truth is our conversation with China is continuous about lots of things. It's continuous about Hong Kong. It's continuous about Taiwan. It's continuous about Uyghurs. It's continuous about tariffs, our tariffs on their products coming into our country. And it's going to be continuous on mineral resources. All of those conversations have barbs attached to them. Mineral resources for us and greening our economy is a big one. China also wants to do the same thing. China is trying to green its industrial base and is doing so in certain respects more aggressively than we are, because they can flip a switch and do it in terms of politics. They don't have to ask anyone's permission. They just shift from one thing to another. I think that this is a huge test case for the entire dogma of the Democratic Party for the last decade. If you invest in this, this will create jobs and a greener industrial base for our country. We're going to find out. And industrial policy only works if it's well managed and there's a market for it and there are consumers who will chase it. All of this is going to be tested as never before over the next 10 years. Some things will work better than others. But what I would say to the Democrats with the Inflation Reduction Act, you own it now. All of this is yours. You better manage it well and explain what's working and fix what isn't, because you own all of this. And this big test case is yours and yours alone. And if it works, you will advance this policy and we'll do more of it. And if it doesn't, you will set back the movement toward green energy by not just a decade, but possibly much longer than that.
Major, did some of that play into the tensions with Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan and saying we've got to walk this line very carefully with China?
Sure. But I would say that Nancy Pelosi's visit was made a big deal by China and not by us. China decided to make that a big cause celeb and raised all sorts of racket, flexed all sorts of military training muscles. But in the end, it didn't amount to much. And the simple truth is, and I've always believed this about that visit, guess what? Democracies decide when to visit democracies, full stop. And that's the end of the conversation. We're a democracy. Taiwan is a democracy. Yes, is it in a nebulous place that's part of one China, but it's an independent part of China that we recognize in certain ways with trade and military sales, but not in others? But democracies visit democracies. End of story, end of conversation. And China can raise whatever concerns it wants to about that. But in the end, we can't say, oh, you're upset, therefore democracies no longer visit democracies. Can't do that.
Major Garrett with us. I mentioned with CBS News Chief Washington correspondent and author of The Big Truth. I didn't mention the Takeout podcast in the latest edition where Major talked to Tim Kaine about the Inflation Reduction Act and several other key issues that are facing us at the moment. Major, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thanks for taking time out from the vacation. Now get back to the family, have some fun, and we'll catch up with you next week.
We'll catch up next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Major Garrett, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. All right, coming up in just a couple of seconds, we continue the show. We're going to go into what's trending right now, either in St. Louis or across the country, or heck, whatever's just trending on our own little, feeds here. Chris Ranji, Amy Markscourse, Kevin Wheeler with you on the show.
You know, they call them the doctors' doctors. At Ophthalmology Associates, they've treated more than 250 doctors in the area. That's more than any other practice. And I just paid my visit. I'm not a doctor, but I trust them because the doctors trust them. And I visited with Ranjan Malhotra. He is wonderful. And when I had my consultation with him earlier in the week, he told me what my issues were with my eyes. And he said, LASIK, you could get it, but you really don't need it. And I appreciated that because I have been to other doctors before who said, yep, you need it and you need to get it right now. And I was always uneasy about it. But I know that I can trust Dr. Malhotra and I can go to him when I am ready to get that LASIK procedure. They will treat all kinds of issues at Ophthalmology Associates: dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration. They do it all because they've got nothing but experts there. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Robert Brusati, Dr. Royer, they are all there. So book an appointment today, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. That's 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates on Manchester, just a half mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
At Diamonds Direct, you know what we do. But let's be honest, there are a lot of places you can buy diamonds and fine jewelry. But it's not just our products and prices that set us apart. It's our passion. At the very core of Diamonds Direct is an overwhelming desire to make this moment in your life truly magical. It's that father with the tears in his eyes picking out diamond earrings for his daughter's Sweet 16. It's that pure delight when the young couple finds the perfect ring to start their journey. And it's the feeling of pride the older gentleman feels when he chooses that anniversary band that celebrates a lifetime of love. At Diamonds Direct, it's not about a transaction. It's about a relationship. It's not about making a sale. It's about creating a memory. It's not about the ring. It's about his pride and her joy. This is our purpose, our cause, our mission, our very essence, to help you create your special moment, to be a part of the happiest time in your life. We are humbled and blessed, honored, and privileged to have the opportunity. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000. Tom Ackerman sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Mahotra. You can too. Go to yourEyeDoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Mission St. Louis is celebrating 15 years of empowering individuals to break the cycle of poverty. To learn more on how you can make a difference, go to missionstl.org/KMOX.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris. What is this weird show? The Show on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on The Show.
My Trending is sponsored by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. Ron's teased this way back at the beginning of the show, so we got to let him go first because you've been like champing at the bit here for, what, like 40 minutes, 45 minutes?
Oh, my God, guys, guess who's trending right now?
Who?
Who?
Newt.
Newt Larsbar?
Nope, Lars Newtbar.
Really?
He's trending. But it's actually not him. I don't know who it is, but it appears to be some Asian young man. Somebody named Newt.
So
is
Newt
he from
trending?
BTS?
But not Lars Newtbar.
No, not Lars Newtbar. It might be. I guess it could be from BTS. I don't really know.
But BTS is super
popular.
yeah.
Very popular. But here's the main story. Kevin the other day caught himself saying Newt Larsbar.
Yes,
I did.
I'm so
to
excited.
Myself, by the way, I'm like, oh, there's Newt. I'm like, damn it, that's not his name.
Told you.
Do you know what's
Although,
so interesting?
It's a good nickname.
It sounds right.
It does.
If you said, hey, how about Newt Larsbar? What a great game.
Yep.
I bet only a certain percentage would stop and say, wait a minute, is it Newt Larsbar?
I love it.
I mean, I'm not really confused about it, but I just found myself like sitting here watching the Cardinals game, and I was like, that's Newt Larsbar.
Yep.
And I tried saying it like 7 different ways. Newt Larsbar.
God, I hope it catches
The problem
on.
is I'm not going to say Newt Larsbar until if I ever get a chance to meet him. And I'm going to be introduced, and I'm going to say, hello, Newt.
Hello, Newt. Told you. It's very catchy.
I'm not. If you just called him Newt, I'm geared. That's definitely his nickname.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely what people call him.
I'm
so
sure
you'd
of
be
it.
Okay. Just don't do the Larsbar part.
Guys, another thing that is trending that might be even a little more important.
Got some good news for you just in time for football season. Chicken wing prices have now dropped to below their pre-pandemic levels. The wholesale price is now at a 4-year low.
How about that? Chicken wings. They're inexpensive once again.
Nice.
Yeah, the
Will
price
they
is down.
actually be though? Like I know their cost of acquiring them is probably back to below, but am I going to pay less for them now, or is that price increase just like, well, it's on the menu now, so too bad, so sad for you.
You know what? I'm sure restaurants can get away with it for a while. I'm sure they can, but they are down to levels just before 2020. So this is very good news for the wing lovers out there, including myself. And I remember I did go to a bar. Oh, gosh, it was probably a year ago and went to watch some football, and the wings were on the menu. And I said, hey, I think we're going to have some wings. And she goes, just so you know, the price has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. It was like $25 for a dozen wings or something, which is crazy, crazy high. But we did it anyway because we wanted wings.
How many wings do you guys eat in a sitting?
How hungry am I?
Yeah.
You're regular hungry.
Normal, probably
You're probably
10.
Yeah, I'm probably like 10 to 12.
So this was like
With fries and everything else on the side.
Oh, if it's
Oh.
just wings?
Yeah.
Oh, it could be 15 or
Yeah, I could crush 12 to 15.
Okay, good. So I had 14. But I think we had like
Oh.
vegetables with it. You know, it
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
even
no,
French fries.
that's totally normal. That's
Yeah,
not weird.
I thought
now,
14.
if you did that with like a pile of fries and a few other things, that might be rough.
The wings are so little. They're little
Yeah,
babies.
there's not a lot on there.
The smaller wings, by the way, I think taste better.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, guys. What's trending on my Twitter thread is a study that reveals how many minutes of exercise per week could help you live longer. Now, here's the thing. The traditional suggested amount of physical activity per week for adults is 150 to 300 minutes. I don't know why they're doing minutes like this. 150 to 300 minutes of moderate physical activity a week, or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous physical activity per week, or an equivalent combination of both. That's from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. You're looking at 60 minutes in an hour. That kind of helps you put it into, you're doing maybe 3 hours-ish if you want to even it out of activity. To 3 to 4 hours. So what they found is people who are doing 2 to 4 times beyond that minimum. So 2 to 4 times, 4 hours a week, whatever you want to say, they are living longer than those who do the minimum, which is interesting because don't you find that the study is either even taking 3 steps per day will extend your life by 37 years, something ridiculous for something moderate, or chewing gum will burn this many calories a year. It's either that, the minimum effort, or it is, listen, I know we said 300 minutes a week, but you should probably do 1,200 minutes a week.
How about just tell me hours, though? Like, I don't want to do math.
Math is so hard, man.
And I don't mean you, by the way, these studies, though, like, 300 hours. All right, just
yeah.
Or 300 minutes. Tell me 5 hours. 5 hours a week. That's easy.
Or if you want to split the difference, like I said, and do 4 hours. Do 4 hours a week and then do 3 to 4 times that, then you'll live longer.
What if you do like I've done over the years, where for periods of time it's like 20, 22 hours a week, and then other times it's like 4 or 3 or 1.
It evens out in the end.
That's right.
Does
Yeah,
it work that way? Does it all balance out?
Yeah, it's all about averages.
I tend to do the, like, I'm going crazy all in all the time, or I'm like, I don't need to do anything today.
So I take stairs all the time because I live multiple floors up and there's no elevator. I take stairs. I feel like I should be getting benefit from that or getting stronger. I don't think I notice a difference.
Well, probably because you run so much.
That's what it is.
Why would you notice the stairs if you're running 70,000 miles a week?
I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't be as tired going up the stairs, or my legs would get super strong, but I feel like they're normal for a runner. And there's nothing special about it.
Normal for someone that runs marathons and stuff. So in other words, elite.
No, just 3 to 4 times the recommended minimum physical activity.
All right, it's the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We're going to talk a little social media after the news.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2022. This Saturday night, 7:30 at the Family Arena. Starring the Turtles, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Association, the Buckinghams, the Bows, and the Chowsills. Reserve seats on sale now at Ticketmaster and at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena.
It's the Sail On Tour 2022, starring Orleans, Firefall,
You are the woman that I've always dreamed of.
Peter Beckett, the voice of Player, John Ford Kohler, Walter Egan, and the Babies with Sail On Tour 2022. Saturday, October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Nature Valley is giving away back-to-school gear for free at the Retalk Shop. On TikTok, show how you reduce, reuse, or recycle with hashtag #RetalkForNature. And you could be served a code, unlocking one free item. While supplies last, terms and conditions apply.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we've got sun and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. A top executive at former President Donald Trump's family business has pleaded guilty to evading taxes. Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg admitted at a court hearing that he dodged taxes on lavish fringe benefits he got from the company. In just a few hours, a federal judge in Florida holds a hearing on a motion to unseal the affidavit supporting the search warrant used on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Skanga's in West Palm Beach outside the courthouse.
Media organizations making a push to unseal only with minor redactions this affidavit and agreeing with the government that the government might show what's called compelling interest here to keep some details under wrap during the investigation, but they'd like as many details as they can get.
The FBI is giving high praise to protesters who showed up to the St. Louis office Sunday. They were upset with the FBI search of former President Trump's home.
The protest that was conducted here at our building it was really executed the way that the framers of the Constitution intended when they put that protection in the Constitution. We had protesters show up. They did not block traffic. They were respectful.
FBI St. Louis Special Agent in Charge, Jay Greenberg.
They conducted their protest at the end. They actually cleaned up their trash and they left the location where they had conducted their protest in a better condition than they found it. And we're not just here. Clearly, I don't agree with their message about defunding the FBI, but we're here to protect that constitutional right as well.
Reorganization plans at the CDC are winning praise from some public health experts.
The director of the Centers for Disease Control announced the retooling, saying the health agency did not reliably meet its mission during the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Rochelle Walensky called for faster CDC responses and better communication for starters. CBS News contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says that's a good thing.
Valuing communication is one of the most important tools of public health.
And Gounder says acknowledging problems at the CDC will go a long way.
To change direction, to correct course, and to do better in the future.
Linda Kenyon, CBS News.
Soon-to-be students could tie up traffic around St. Louis University today and tomorrow as it's move-in days. SLU warns Laclede Avenue between Grand and Vannevetter will be closed both days to regular traffic, while the parking garage at Grand and Laclede is closed to outside vehicles. The First Mid Bank and Trust business desk, sales of previously occupied U.S. homes slowed for the 6th consecutive month in July.
However, this is the natural time in our market for sales to slow anyway.
Christina Strait of Strait Realty tells KMOX August is historically slow as families go on vacation and get ready for the start of school. Strait says interest rates are having some impact but are not killing the market.
We've listed properties recently within the last couple of weeks and we get multiple offers still.
Straight adds, even with a slowdown, demand is out there. Home inventory remains low. The Dow from Stifel is down 12 points to 33,963. And we've got a stall on 70 East before West Florissant, 70 West past Jennings Station on the right shoulder, 270 East before Lindbergh on the right shoulder. And the weather.
KMOX AccuWeather, mostly sunny, a nice warm afternoon. The high getting up to 85, mainly clear, upper 60s tonight. Hot feeling, but not that humid tomorrow afternoon, upper 80s to near 90. And then mid-80s, warm and stickier on Saturday with a chance of a shower thunderstorm. Low to mid-80s with a thunderstorm or two on Sunday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Ahead of Cardinals pregame, the Rockies in town. It's sunny and 80 in Florissant, 80 in St. Peters, and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by True Law. Learn more at sickvets.com.
If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. You could be awarded financial compensation, but you must act now. Call 877-560-8555 for your free case review or visit sickvets.com. That's sickvets.com.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
All right, coming up on 11:05 on the show here on KMOX, Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, and Kevin Wheeler with you here. I am, if you're watching on Facebook.com/KMOX1120, I am in the home office because I once again have the Rona, apparently.
You're diseased.
Got that really, really faint second line when I did the thing this morning. So I took that as like, better stay home.
It is.
But I don't feel very bad. Still, just a little sore throat. But other than that, feeling good. Happy to be doing some radio. I will say, though, given the voice thing, probably not terrible that we're doing a little short show here for me.
Yeah, you gotta save that precious voice of yours.
Oh, I know. It's, as I like to call it, it's the moneymaker.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, it is.
It's not really a joke. Like, it's like if you said like your face is the moneymaker, that would be a joke. But
I mean, we all know it ain't that.
Come on, look.
I think you're adorable, Kevin.
You are adorable, and you're very young. You're very youthful looking. Like, look at Ranch. Like, he's old and haggard, and looks like he crossed the Brimley line.
Amy
2 decades ago. Honestly,
Amy is playing with fire, and she doesn't know it.
No,
because,
I take it back.
Because I have,
take it back.
I have the most amazing photo I snapped. I sure as hell can. If you don't cut out this nonsense, everybody's going to see.
For everybody listening, to be clear, this was a photo in the workplace. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. Wasn't like that.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
Eric
this was-
Greitens over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not that.
Yeah, she's not. I didn't chain her to the furnace.
Not
I mean,
that.
she was. We were in a meeting.
Yes.
We were
And I
meeting
was
with
looking
Steve.
down at my
The boss
phone.
was present.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Amy had, like, you know how I talk about, don't you ever post a fat neck photo of me.
Yeah.
But you do it
accused
anyway.
me of having done, but I don't
You
know
have
if
done
I'm
it.
doing
This is like a fat neck, but also like a spider neck.
It's
photo.
the
It's
weirdest
like where
neck.
all the
She was
veins-
looking down, and I'm like, oh, snap. And
And
I
my-
took it, and I made a nice meme out of it.
Yeah, it looks like I'm concentrating and writing a really mean email.
Yes.
You know, like it's the resting face that they talk about.
The
It's-
RBF.
Yeah, it's really
So it's
bad.
now also known as leverage.
Yeah, that's what that is. So,
So
if
anyway.
she keeps this up,
Ranj, you're adorable and youthful.
You
just
damn right.
like Kevin.
you damn right.
Hey, speaking of pictures, though, would you guys like to hear some staggering statistics regarding social media? And I also think it's a bit terrifying. So the modern person leaves behind an online trail of 9,828 photos, 10,811 social media posts, and this one I don't understand, 126 email addresses over their entire life. What's the email addresses? 126? That doesn't sound right.
Well, you have to have the burner addresses that you can, send to the station and yell.
The thousands or tens of thousands of photos. It's the result of a new survey of 2,000 adults trying to figure out what the average person reveals online. And apparently the average person shares over a third of their life online. And all of these photos, thousands of photos and thousands of posts, are obviously still available long after you die.
That's not
I
good.
can say this. Once I'm dead, I won't care.
Yeah.
You know what? I would care in the sense that I don't want people close to me to have to deal with anything weird of mine after I'm gone. If there was anything weird out there.
So first of all,
Like a fat neck photo. I don't think that my family could take having a fat neck photo of me out in the world. So I don't want them to deal with that. But really, I think that's it. I'm kind of with you, Kevin, with the exception of I don't want people, if there's anything bad, for them to have to deal with the fallout, and I'm gone, not having to deal with it.
Did you finish the Manti Teow documentary? The
My
Untitled
God,
documentary?
it's great. It was very good. I have a different appreciation for him now, and I feel kind of bad for the way he was treated.
Yeah, yeah.
At the time, and this was 9 years ago that all happened. I feel pretty bad about it.
And we can. Well, I think we should talk more about it in depth tomorrow. But the
I
reason I
agree.
brought it up, Amy, is that in the catfishing thing,
Mm-hmm.
there, the catfisher used photos from some girl that he didn't know. He just found her pictures on Facebook and on what was it, MySpace, and some other social media site, and then used that to create this fake person that was called Lene Kukua, who ended up being Manti Teow's girlfriend that didn't really exist. But that's why I bring that up, because that was something that was used, and I think I've seen that in other catfishing cases as well, where people they take pictures off of other social media sites and create new Facebook accounts or whatever under fake names, and they pretend that those pictures are the person that they are pretending to be.
I would say maybe once every other month, somebody that I know, somebody I know or follow on like Instagram or whatever, will put out a message and say, "Hey, there's this user, and they've got my photos and they're using my photos. It's not me. So if you get a friend request from them, ignore it."
Oh my gosh.
That happens a lot.
I sent this to you, and now I'm not going to be able to find it in front of me because this seemed shocking. So General Mark Hertling, he's from St. Louis. He was the former commanding general of all like the U.S. Army in Europe. He just a high-ranking military official. He tweeted that his social media like name or handle has been used in identity fraud. I think it was over 2,000 times.
Man, that's crazy.
I don't know if it's called identity fraud on social media, but people posing to be him. And he said this happens with high-ranking generals, or with generals, I should say, all the time, high-ranking military officials.
Really?
And he, it's brought up to the government. They know it, but they were using his name, his picture. And I had no idea that many times. I don't know if that's because it's foreign agents or who, but I couldn't believe that number.
Yeah, they do it, Ron. You do this a lot with sports accounts, right? Like, the at Jeff Passan, whatever.
Oh my God!
Like, they add one more character that you can't see, like an underscore or something, and then they steal the photos, and then they pretend they break faking news to see how many people they can suck in.
Right, usually at the trade deadline. It's always the trade deadline or in the off season when teams are about to do something, like the fake Adam Schefter, who tweets out the football stuff, and then there are occasionally they'll get media people, like legitimate media people, to bite, and then they'll retweet it and then realize, I got Passan. Yeah, I got fake Passan.
Yeah,
and that's the worst too, because if you're during the trade deadline, if somebody had said, the fake Ken Rosenthal had said the Cardinals have Juan Soto, they've traded for Juan Soto. That would get a lot of people to bite and think, "Oh no, that's amazing, we got him," and then turns out it's fake.
Well, they use all the pictures, and then, like you said, you have to look so carefully at the handle because the at could be at Ken Rosenthal, and then there's an underscore.
It's also why the check marks exist.
Yeah,
right. But people copy those. Though there's a way to kind of insert that in there where it's not really the check mark, but it looks like it.
It doesn't look great, but if you look at a glance, then you think it's real.
Now you're talking about catfishing and how. With Manti Teow, that it was a guy pretending to be girl stealing photos. You can also, the phrase I think is still catfishing if you use super duper filters on Instagram so that you are on a dating app and you don't look
you
at
pass
all.
yourself off as better looking than you are.
Right. It's really you. I mean, it is you in the photo, but the filters are so heavy you can look like, a supermodel, like. And kind of with that look, like the Bella Hadid, Gigi Hadid look, the filters make your eyes wider and your lips fuller and your cheekbones more distinct. And I mean, if you use a filter, like, oh my gosh, this doesn't look like me at all, but it's a catfish filter.
Yeah, I like in the idea of doing like a dating site, like eventually the goal would be to meet the person, right? Like we're not really going to fool them.
I think they think,
as opposed to like trying to get money from someone when the idea is I don't want to ever meet them, so let's convince them I look like this.
I think people know that with dating apps, it's generally pretty superficial because you are just looking at how someone looks. So I think they're going, well, if I get a chance to talk to this person or have an extended conversation, and my personality will make up for how much I don't look like the filter picture.
I'm going to tell you right now, if I were ever on a dating app and somebody did that to me and I showed up, I'd be like, you piece of lying garbage. I can't believe you did this. I thought you looked, like a 4, but really you're only a 1,
Is this on a 1 through 5 scale or 1 through 10?
Not 10. I mean, come on. I've never been on a dating app, though. I'm too charming for dating apps. I don't need that.
So you just got so many lines that you can just use at the bars. You don't need no dating app.
Dude, you have no idea. I am
I do.
so good.
Oh, we can imagine.
So good?
Yeah, I'm very charming, Kevin.
Are you crabby?
No. I'm only crabby around you guys. Y'all bringing me down.
Well, we do what we can.
Oh.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the show. A little bit of a short edition
Already?
today. Yeah, you guys get to go home. I'm already at home because I got the Rona again. But we got Cardinals baseball coming your way in just a few minutes. Cardinals taking on the Rockies again, going for the sweep today. It'll be Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals, Antonio Senzatella for the Rockies. Pregame is starting up next right here on your home for the Cardinals, KMOX.
Birds.
Hey, guys, Kevin Wheeler here, and I want to tell you about, in fact, I'm going to change that. I want to brag to you about two of my favorite companies owned by two guys that are just fantastic. Stefan and Brady do a great job, both with Soulard Door and Fence and Entry Point of St. Louis. I have used